Hello and welcome back to Justice for Jean Alesi. The 1995 season has completed 13 rounds, we're speeding towards the end, and the gap is 10 points between us, Jean Alesi, and our two closest rivals, Michael Schumacher and Damon Hill. Schumacher was in no man's land and he's right back in the fight. It's the biggest gap we've held to our rivals all season long, but it can change instantly, so let's not get comfortable yet. In the Constructors, Williams have been out front for ages and it seems like it's theirs to lose, and they could still lose it. There's now less than 10 points between the top three. Gerhard Berger needs to keep doing what he did in Portugal if we're going to stand any chance. Here we go again.
It's the Grand Prix of Europe at the Nürburgring, round 14 of the championship.
Ooh, a lovely golden sky. Look at that. I knew the real race was a wet to dry, so it could have gone either way. But for the second time this season, just the second time this season, we have two consecutive dry races in a row. So yes, here we are, the world famous Nürburgring. Originally hosted races on the old Nordschleife, the daunting track known as the Green Hell, from 1951 to 1976. 76 was the last season, due basically to Niki Lauda's now infamous crash. That was kind of the turning point when everyone said, you know what, it's too dangerous to race here anymore, we're not going to. But it returned to this GP circuit for the first time in 1984, hosted another race in 85, and then there was a 10-year gap until this Grand Prix, the 1995 European Grand Prix. What followed in the next 16 seasons was a race held here in 15 of those, and then the race fell off the calendar again, and it wasn't until 2020 in the impromptu calendar that the race came back. Quite interestingly, this venue has held a race under 4 different names. It's been the German Grand Prix, it's been the European Grand Prix for when the German Grand Prix name has been taken by someone else, typically Hockenheim. It's also hosted the Luxembourg Grand Prix. It's, you know, not far from the country of Luxembourg, and that was used when both the German and European Grand Prix had been taken by other countries. And then most recently it came back as the Eiffel Grand Prix, named after the mountain range nearby, and disappointingly not after the Europop band, which is a shame. So, relatively familiar with this track, but as always, time to get some practice in, get used to driving it on this game, and then we go for qualifying. Okay, time to sort out the grid. On pole, in real life, was David Coulthard from Damon Hill, all Williams front row. Michael Schumacher was in 3rd, Gerhard Berger 4th. Jean Alesi qualified 6th. So, as always in the dry, the grid gets replicated, which means our rivals will be at the front, Berger will at least be up high, and 6th will be our target, because, you know, qualifying we haven't been incredible at all season, especially in the dry, so if we can get 6th, be in the points to begin with, and go on the attack, I'll be happy with that. Just let's not have another nightmare like we nearly did in Portugal and like we absolutely did in Spain. I don't want to find myself panicking, so I'm going to try and get a good banker lap in early. This can be flat. Let's attack the inside. Flat through the Schumacher S. Probably isn't called that yet, actually, in 1995, but it's not last to begin with, so that's a decent starter for 10. Some traffic up ahead, let's see if we can clear it. Just go out wide. Only a second down. See what we do. 1.7 seconds down. Yes! Oh, and immediately I can unclench my butt cheeks. That's a little bit better. So we are at least in the ballpark and there's room for improvements. Now as I wind up for another lap, I'm just going to give you a quick update because last time we mentioned Shark Chill, who'd been following the series. He said, I really like 40 Fords. I really want them to score points. For every point that they score between now and the end of the season, because they don't have any so far, I'll give you £1 for every point they score to a charity of your choice. Well, that was very nice. Announced it on the last episode. No points scored as of yet. But he then said, thank you for mentioning it, I really appreciate it. As a result, I'm now going to up it. I'm going to say a £5 for every point they score. So £5 for every point 40 Ford happen to score in the remainder of this season, I'll get to give to a charity of my choice. So let's keep an eye out for 40 Ford. However, Shark Chill's generosity kind of sparked a little something. Racing Di Milano, a long-time fan of the series, who's given us tips on how to drive throughout the series, also said, you know what, I'm in, and I'm going to give to charity based on what happens in Suzuka. I'll talk about that when we get to the Japanese Grand Prix, but it's another big race for Alesi. And then Simon Core, well, I believe it's written Simon Core, but I say that as a British person. I know you're German, so would that be Simon? I'm not sure. So apologies if I mispronounced that. But he said, you know what? As a German fan, I'm a big fan of Heinz-Harald Frentzen. If Frentzen happens to win in the Sauber, I'll dye my hair a colour of Ash's choice and also donate to a charity of my choice. I mean, the things that have come out of this series that you never expected, but thank you all for your generosity. Thank you so much for following the series. I really appreciate it. It's great there is a little community building up around this series. It's exactly what I'd hoped for, and it's great to see it happening, so thank you all so much. Gerhard Berger fighting with the footwork in qualifying again. Really could do with only 2/10 down in that first split. Guys, please don't ruin this lap. I am begging you. Come on, let's get past Gerhard. Please, Gerhard, don't. So we're going to be up the inside, making an overtake. But incredibly, that is, as so often seems to happen, improved my line through that corner. We're only a 10th down. It's not the best final corner, though, but we're speeding away out of it. What's it going to be? 7/10 down, up to 4th. Let's go again. Come on. Come on, no traffic, and we could be on to a really good time here. Down again. Oh, just clipped the grass at the end of the curb. Tried to keep my foot in it. Wow. Hearing the words "he's up after the first split" clearly just threw me right off. That's disappointing. Right, come on. Oh. I've lost my headphones. I mean, the pace is there, guys. The pace is there. I mean, I can't be disappointed. That was a really, really good qualifying session. For just managed to eliminate a few mistakes, it could have been higher. So here we go, starting grid, Coulthard first, Hill second, Schumacher in third, Jean Alesi fourth, right there. The qualifying performances finally getting there, and we have displaced our teammate, Gerhard Berger. So in the real 1995 European Grand Prix, from 6th, Alesi, on a damp track, basically worked himself up to 2nd, I think it was, very quickly. Again, mastering the changeable conditions beautifully, and the track then dried out, essentially became a dry race, and he led most of the Grand Prix. But he was on, I think, a one-stop strategy. He would stop once, whereas Schumacher would stop again. Alesi was managing his tyres and fuel to the end of the race. Schumacher could be a little bit more aggressive. So basically, Schumacher was hunting Alesi down in the closing stages. Alesi was held up by some back markers. He had to take to the grass at the Vidal chicane, and Schumacher caught Alesi and won by 2 seconds. I'm not saying that that was purely down to those back markers or his excursion, but it certainly wouldn't have helped him. Again, agonisingly close to a second win for Alesi. We're getting so much better in the dry. Winning in the dry, I think, is the one thing we really need to do to kind of tick off before this season ends. And this would be a great race to do it at. So let's try and win the European Grand Prix. Okay, here we go. The Williams ahead of us, Schumacher alongside of us. Starts haven't been our strong point. We are underway, and once again we are bogged down, and it's a terrible start. Lots of wheel spin, and we are down to 8th. Row of cars on the outside. Do we try and hang up the insides? 9th now we've slipped to. So just try and hold on. Little kink round that first corner. And we have dropped 4 places from the start. The start seems to have been getting worse all season long. I can't work out what the technique is. Tried blipping the throttle last time out. Again went back to holding the X button. Just didn't work. And immediately down to 8th. The leader's off ahead. Right. I'm going to be quiet and stop commentating and try and get into the rhythm. Oh, and I've been hit. Been hit there. Hit wide. Oh, by a McLaren and a Tyrrell. Wow. Not a good start at all. So quick in qualifying. We were so quick, and now we're being attacked by the Jordan now. Need to get on the front foot. That's it. Attack the VDOL. There we go. Terrible start. Wow. It's like Portugal all over again. Down to 9th. Mark Blundell ahead of us. And we've got it all to do. And I just can't get my head into it. Come on. Right, I'm going to have to really just... Sorry, I'm going to shut up now. As it stands, Damon Hill will cut that 10-point gap to 0. Hill, Coulthard, Schumacher, Berger, Hakkinen and Herbert. Okay. That concern I had in Portugal about this being like Spain, it's incredibly happening now. And after such a good qualifying session as well. It was so messy. Berger is slipping backwards, so that's... you know, proper in no man's land now. Can't see anyone behind me, can't see anyone up ahead. I don't understand what is happening. We absolutely nailed it in qualifying. Oh, it's a... Oh, wow. And I think you just said it was Christophe Bouillon has just made an absolute killer of a lunge. And that's gone messy. Oh man. Oh man, oh man, oh man. Being caught hunted by a Ligier now. I mean, my head's gone. What has happened? Let's try and get back past these cars. Hill is leading from Schumacher. It's the worst possible result we could have hoped for. Wow. And that's oh, that Sauber just disappeared. That Sauber, just goes into a shadow and disappears into another universe, and then just pops back in. 2 laps to go. See, look, where was that line? All race. Come on. We're getting past this guy again. Oh, turned in on, even though I was alongside. Don't think so. It's Heinz-Harald Frentzen, of all people. Sorry, Heinz. Couldn't you be winning this race? This would be the perfect time for you to do that. While I'm struggling down here. I feel like I've just forgotten everything. As Michael Schumacher moves into the lead of the race. This is frustrating, this one. Because the pace, I've got the pace. And the thing that's let me down has been the consistency today. Well, I've just taken time out of Schumacher's lead. Because I've started to drive better. I was doing it in qualifying. And pushing. But come race day, a terrible start rattled me. Immediately I thought, oh, they're getting away from me. And I never settled into a rhythm. I'm sorry, Jean. I've not been able to get this one back for you. Michael Schumacher does indeed win the 1995 European Grand Prix. And the title's been blown wide open. I am dumbfounded as to what's just happened. When I went off at the Vidal chicane, I very nearly quit the game. I've been very strict in saying whatever happens, happens. That's a hard one to take, I gotta say. What's just happened? Been doing so well. We had the pace in qualifying, just not had the consistency to do it lap after lap in the race. Too many mistakes. And just like that, it's all changed. Schumacher wins from Mika Hakkinen, great result for him. Hill third, Herbert fourth. Double points for McLaren with Blundell in fifth. Coulthard in sixth. Berger just outside the points with 12th. Right, I know what the next screen's going to say. Here we go. Michael Schumacher has taken the lead of the championship. I don't know what that's based on. I assume countback is a thing in this, or maybe it just... maybe is the user player your shuffle down one. I don't know. Either way, we have the same amount of points, 76 apiece for Michael Schumacher and Jean Alesi. Damon Hill is in third, just 6 points behind. I thought, well, one bad race and our rivals win and that's the gap gone. I didn't think it would actually happen though. In the Constructors, Benetton take the lead by 3 points from Williams. They are now back in position to repeat history and do the double after not looking like it for long periods. Ferrari score no points today and we are 14 points adrift just after getting back into it. I'm gutted. I thought today's the day we go up from fourth, we go get a win, and the race pace wasn't there. It was my consistency. I could be quick, but I was just taking so many risks on the curbs and running it wide, and I just head went at the start. Such a bad start going from 4th to 9th, and that just threw me off for the entire race. Back to square one. Schumacher versus Alesi. Hill just behind. And we go off to the Pacific Grand Prix next time. Great, just in time for a track I do not know. Oh, the championship's still on. And we've got work to do. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.